Hey guys, today we're going to talk about one of the most important things that I could ever teach someone about when it comes to running a wedding creative business, and that's setting an hourly evaluation for your business. As a wedding professional, probably a lot of us are more used to working with commercial clients, right? And so it's easy to know how much you're making per hour for your business because pretty much you work 8 hours. You get paid for 8 hours of work. You work more than 8 hours, you get paid more. With weddings, it's unique because weddings, they're a product, right? So it's a fixed price. You don't necessarily make more money for doing more work. If you decide to spend twice as much time editing or trying a new filter or doing whatever it is in post, the client's not going to call you up and be like, wow, thank you so much for messing around with that new filter. I'm going to pay you twice as much for that edit. Nope, pretty much you don't get paid more for doing more work necessarily. And I think that's a big challenge for a lot of people because they don't really know how to actually figure out, am I running my business? Now, it's one thing to know, I'm making some money. So this is gross revenue, I'm bringing in this money, it's going into my bank account. I have money going into my bank account, I have this many weddings I shot. I'm doing really great, right? And that's a really oversimplified understanding of your business's health. Because the real question is not, am I making money? Did I work a lot, right? It's, was I efficient? And really what we're talking about is how do we determine if our business is running efficiently? Because the goal of running a business is not just having money pass through you like a sieve. The goal of having a business is to be profitable. So let's talk about that a little bit. So the first number we want to look at to determine our hourly evaluation of our business, how much we're making per hour, is gross revenue. And this is just how much money came into the bank account from my business. And we're going to start here because it doesn't allow us to do any of the whole, like, I make $3,000 per wedding and some assumptions there. When we really know, like, you didn't really make $3,000 per wedding. You sold some cheaper packages. Things happen. Maybe you give a discount. At the end of the year, you probably average less than your average, what you thought your price was. And we've learned the hard way, like, don't assume, right? Do the real math, start with the big number, right? So we're gonna look at gross revenue divided by how many weddings that we shot. And so you're gonna see that this person actually made this much money. They made $24.66 per wedding. And then you're gonna go like this, okay, how many weddings, or how many hours do I think that I spent? And so most of you are gonna have to guesstimate this. I wanna encourage you to do something. Be really honest with how much time you waste. A good way to look at it is to look at your actual turnaround. And if you shot 15 weddings and it took you 6 months to get them all out to people, I would encourage you to be kind of relentless, actually be really brutal with yourself. And say like, it took me 80 hours to do a wedding. Whatever, but let's say this person was kind of inefficient, but not the worst. And they ended up spending around, they took about a week to, of their time between sales. So this is, you want to factor in your sales. You want to factor in the day of shooting, and you want to factor in your editing. So this person spent about 40 hours. So this person, on their gross hourly rate, so we're going to add that in there. Gross hourly rate is $61 per hour. So let's just factor in a couple other things. Let's imagine that this person they hired a subcontractor to work with them every event. They had a second shooter, paid them $300 per wedding. And then, they bought some equipment, and they also did some marketing, and then they have some other internet costs and things like this. And that it costs them around $13,000 to run their business between paying subcontractors and paying for the equipment and paying for whatever they need to pay for to run the business. That's actually where they're going to actually get their real hourly rate. And so we kind of did the math behind the scenes a little bit, but this person would basically be making $24,000 at the end of the year, and their hourly rate would be somewhere closer to like $40 an hour. And so this is like your actual net hourly rate of how much you're going to make after you factor in your costs. So this person made about $40 an hour. So here's the deal. This is where it really comes down to your personal goals, right? And we love to help people with personal goals. And so this is a great place to start, to figure out, how can I go full-time, right? Because if you took this and you stretched it out over the course of an entire year of a 40-hour-a-week job, working, 50 or so hours a week, you're talking about a minimum wage job. This person's making like $11 to $13 an hour, depending on how much time they took off at work. But pretty much you're not making a lot of money. And for some of you guys, you're like, I don't care. This is my side gig. I got another job. This is like funny money. This is vacation money. This is going to pay for my kids' college. This is really about your goals. If you have this plus a bunch of other money from your other job and you're cool with that and you want to have this nice side hustle, here's what I love about this industry. It's great for a side hustle. There's nothing wrong with a side hustle. Going full-time is not some fantasy. Don't let people bully you into going full-time. Because until you're ready to get this number much, much, much bigger, whether by a certain amount of money that you're charging, a total amount of weddings that you're doing, picking up your efficiencies, all these things, it's tough to go full-time. And so this is really when it comes to what are your goals, right? But you don't want to be making $13 an hour, is my guess. I think we all know that's probably not worth it. You can do a lot more easy things to make $13 an hour. And so here's some just quick tips into raising your hourly rate. The first thing is really look into whether or not you can raise your prices or not. Now this is really up to the customers. So you can't just go like, voila, my prices are now this much money. But if you're able to, and if you think the market will tolerate it and you think your quality will tolerate it, that'll help like that. Booking 15 weddings and actually charging people $3,000 and not always negotiating down and doing people favors and stuff, it really has a hit on your bottom line. So if your actual average was $3,000 per wedding and not $2,400, it would make a big difference. The next thing is to cut your expenses and actually evaluate how much it really costs to do your business and really make hard choices. You don't always, do you really need to buy that extra camera? Do you really need to buy that extra lens? Start thinking about how it actually hits your wallet and not how it hits your emotions. Don't make emotional purchases. Make purchases that are based on how much money your business, and honestly, how much you need to live. Make decisions based on your needs and not just based on your wants, right? And so cut your expenses. That's the second one. And the third one is something we're really, really, really passionate about at Stop, Go, Love, and it's something we work wicked hard on. Here's what I'll say. Our number looks more like this. And, I don't even know what the math is there, but I don't mind doing it. So this is our number. And it's roughly this. Just by cutting your investment in the product, this guy's almost doubled his hourly rate. And that's a big deal. So that's another way you can really, really make a big difference in your business, is just becoming a lot more efficient, right? And so if you do all three together, you're able to get your prices if you price your business and do something the most that the market can afford and bear and that your quality can afford and bear. You bring your expenses down to actually being lean and not making emotional decisions with purchases. And then you will become really, really efficient. And I'm telling you, editors, whatever you can do to reduce your editing time, don't be that person who takes way too long. If you can do that, you will really, really start affecting this number right here, which is your net hourly evaluation. And that's really what your business is really functioning on. And so I really want to encourage you, think about this. And all of this doesn't matter at all, by the way, if you don't track your hours. Track your hours. Track your hours. Get some kind of application. There's a lot of good ones out there, and track how much time you're spending in your edits, because it's affecting your bottom line. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, we didn't really get into taxes that much. We didn't get into subcontractors or big teams and things like that. So if you're interested in knowing more about how we do it or have any specific questions, let us know. We're glad to help. That's why we're here. Check out the next video we got on Wedding Pros.